From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Friday morning. Still a triad of alert days in front of us as we have the last day of the heat wave for today. Air quality continues to be a problem, and fire concerns going to continue to be a problem through Sunday, although we did dodge a bullet when it came to the lightning yesterday, so that's certainly a good sign. Air quality technically good right now for the Tri-Cities. Don't know if it's going to be that way for the entirety of the day, but air quality is still pretty poor for Morrow County, but more so for Umatilla and Walla Walla counties. Okay, the wind gust, it is windy this morning in the Kittitas Valley. Elsewhere, some very light breezes, but those are going to pick up a little bit later in the day. Temperatures, it's still 72 degrees in the Tri-Cities right now, but a good deal cooler in Yakima, where we're at 58. So we'll be back up around 100 for today in the Tri-Cities. So that's one of the reasons why we're going with the alert day, in addition to the smoke and some of the breezes out there, some of the fire concerns. But speaking of that, the fire that popped up last night in South Kennewick, we will talk about that coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
And right now, the Richland City Council hears community concerns about data centers, why the city says a moratorium is not possible. Plus, homes threatened, damaged, and saved, where state resources and aerial support are being deployed in the region. Plus, a Pasco man is missing after being swept under by a river current. His family's plea to bring him home.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning. It's Friday, and we thank you for joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Zoe Salas. Getting straight into our fire watch this morning with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. As we just saw a fire spark up last night in Kennewick. Josh, what can you tell us? Yeah, this is the Locust Grove fire. It started late last night. The area east of Locust Grove Road and east Washington 397, south of Kennewick. I think technically this is a Kennewick address, but it's 750 acres. But per the Benton County Fire District 1, it sounds like this fire is now under control. We still do have some evacuations in place. No longer any level 3 go now evacuations in place, but you see that a level 2 be set evacuation zone, then the level 1 be ready zone. So if you're in the neighborhood of Inspiration Heights, that's where you still need to be packed and you need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice, even though it sounds like this situation is on the downswing, we hope. Okay, let's go to another big-time situation. This is the railroad fire that started yesterday morning in southwestern Grant County. It's 1,400 acres. No word on containment. Still several active hotspots from Beverly all the way down to Schwana. We still have those evacuations. The level 3 go now evacuations in place for Beverly and Schwana, and then the level 1 be ready extends all the way down to Mattawa. So just to kind of reiterate the text from the Grant County Sheriff's Office, level 3 go now still in place for all of Beverly and Schwana and the lower Crab Creek area, about 5 miles from Washington 243. And then the level 1 be ready is for Washington 243 from Morrison Street all the way down to Road 24 Southwest. Okay, we go from Grant County all the way down to Umatilla County, where we still have the 3 large fires that are burning up in the Blue Mountains. The Paradise Fire and the Horse Ridge Fire, still no evacuations with these. These are both very active fires, though, so we're keeping a close eye on those. But they kind of pale in comparison to the Hagen Fire, which is burning to the south of Gibbon, to the east of Gibbon, to the south of Bingham Springs. This one got a big acreage update on this one yesterday. As it's now, we could round up, say, almost 13,000 acres. No word on containment, but I mean, just this entire fire perimeter is just lighting up right now. And so we saw more expanded evacuations. Now some of these spilling over into Union County, but we have that level 2 be set for Tollgate. So in that area, in the area of Spout Springs, got to be packed, got to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. And you should have left a while back for Bingham Springs and for Gibbon. There are just too many zones at this point now to show all the zones, but we have a full list of the zones posted online, applevalleynewsnow.com. To sign up for emergency alerts in Oregon, go to oralert.gov. That would be for Morrow and Umatilla and Union counties. For Washington counties, a little bit more difficult of a URL, mil.wa.gov/alerts/local. For more information on all these fires, let's send it back to Zoe. All right, thank you, Josh. Taking it back over to the Locust Grove fire that was after threatening homes south of Kennewick, this vegetation fire is now under control. It broke out in the area of East Locust Grove Road and East State Route 397 last night, shortly after 9 o'clock. Officials say state fire mobilization was authorized and the cause remains under investigation. Turning to the railroad fire in Grant County, where officials are now saying 7 residences have been damaged. This fire broke out Wednesday at 11 p.m. in the 1700 block of Road T8 Southwest in Beverly. State fire mobilization was approved Wednesday and aerial support was requested by Thursday morning. Officials say that structures near hotspots will be the focus, along with the safety of residences and crews. There is a flight restriction in place as officials are sending a reminder to not fly drones in the area. An evacuation shelter continues to be available at Luke High School in Mattawa. Officials also say that the Paradise Fire is requiring additional equipment and crew members. This blaze is impacting Paradise Creek and the Mill Creek watershed, reaching Wallowa, Columbia, Walla Walla, and Umatilla counties. Officials say that the location of the fire requires special attention in the city of Walla Walla to protect the watershed. They also add that the fire presents a threat to high-value resources. As for the Horse Ridge fire, officials are once again saying it has grown only slightly. Ground crews were able to hold the fire in the area of FS Road 050 with helicopter support. Now over to the Hagen Fire in Umatilla County, which is continuing to grow, reaching Brigham Road and Tollgate. The fire burned across Ryan Creek and moved east through the 32 road before continuing into the North Fork Umatilla Wilderness. Emergency shelter is available at Sunridge Middle School, located at 700 Southwest Runyon Avenue in Pendleton. A joint emergency operations center, including Umatilla County Sheriff's Office, Union County Sheriff's Office, and the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation, remain actively engaged with the Northwest Incident Management Team 7. Getting into Franklin County here as the search continues for a missing fisherman from Pasco who was waiting in the water. 29-year-old Omar Espinoza Acosta was on a fishing trip with 2 friends Wednesday afternoon when a current took him under. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office was called out to the area on Ringgold River Road, southeast of Savage Island. This is new video of family and friends who were out in the area Thursday afternoon. The family says that they need more help because the water is moving so fast.
With boats, with jet skis, any type of motor, because the water is pretty fast. Apparently, the authorities have said that they can come around and they can check the water areas, everything, but nobody to touch the little island. He is a field worker and has dedicated his life to coming here.
The family says they are also keeping an eye out on the Columbia River and say drones would be useful as well. The man is Hispanic, 5'2", with red hair. We reached out to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for more information, but have not yet heard back. Now to an update on a hot topic in the city of Richland as the council brought data centers up for discussion. The city manager has a statement on the city's stance on data centers so far. He says, in part, the city council and staff hear the community's concerns regarding electricity demand, water use, noise and heat generation, along with utility rates and the broader impact that the large data centers may have on the community. He adds that they are legitimate concerns that the city is working on addressing, and this is where the city stands in terms of any data center proposal.
The council has authorized an option agreement for approximately 273 acres in the Northwest Advanced Clean Energy Park. This has been alluded to earlier today and mentioned. This option identifies the anticipated use for data center facilities, but it is not a land sale, construction permit, or final project approval. It simply allows Atlas Agro a limited period to evaluate the property and decide whether to pursue a purchase.
He went on to say any purchase would require a separate purchase and sale agreement, which would need to be brought forward and approved by the city council. Because an option agreement is in effect, imposing a moratorium is not possible, but that does not mean the city intends to proceed without safeguards. One person has passed away after a medical emergency in the pit area of the Water Follies. We're told a photographer suffered an emergency Thursday morning during preparations for the event. Emergency responders attempted life-saving measures but were unable to revive the photographer. Water Follies and H1 Unlimited officials say they will not release additional details out of respect for the family's privacy. And on to more Water Follies festivities that are here with races, the air show, and a lot more fun kicking off this morning. On Thursday, organizers and volunteers were finishing setting up in Columbia Park with drivers and crews getting their boats race ready in the pits. Food trucks, tents were stocking up on treats from ice cream and funnel cakes to loaded tater tots and bacon-wrapped hot dogs. Some people have already set up their tents and RVs in the camping area, and they're ready for a weekend of races.
How did you find out about Water Follies?
I have family from Kennewick. I'm excited. I'm ready to watch some boats, and I'm especially excited about the water. Not used to the heat.
This year's Water Follies will also have some new fun for children with a brand new kids zone on the Pasco side, bringing sports, face painting, and bounce houses. Looking like a lot of fun out there. All right, we'll still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Your tax dollars and military decisions. The Senate's vote on whether to limit President Trump's power to wage war in Iran. Your time right now is 5:11, taking a live look out into Richland this morning. When we come back, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth, everything you need to know on this Friday to plan your day when we return.
This Nissan lineup goes where you take it. Trucks and SUVs built rough, tough, and ready. Nissan, Consumer Guide's most awarded brand 5 years in a row. Get up to $5,750 total savings on select Frontier trims.
In Tri-Cities Real Estate, one group stands above the rest. One group consistently ranks in the top 20% of the region's real estate agents. One group puts a full team of professionals backing your every move to get the best deal at every step. And one group with an award-winning team to give you more insights and help you make more educated decisions. So if you're ready to make your next move with certainty, there's really only one group for you.
Even if your child has moderate to severe eczema, they can feel the flow, feel the breeze. And Dupixent helps them feel the heal. It helps calm a key source of inflammation under the skin that can cause eczema. Dupixent is the only biologic therapy approved to treat kids as young as 6 months for noticeably clearer skin and less itch. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Dupixent. Help heal their skin from within so they can stay ahead of eczema. Find an eczema specialist and ask about Dupixent today.
Hello to all our viewers in the Pacific Northwest. This is your special invitation to watch live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now, KView, Channel 42, and CAP, Channel 35.
This Nissan lineup goes where you take it. Trucks and SUVs built rough, tough, and ready. Nissan, Consumer Guide's most awarded brand 5 years in a row. Get up to $5,750 total savings on select Frontier trims.
If I were to describe this case in 3 words, I would call it brutal, intimate, and cruel.
Go inside a murder mystery where nothing is as it seems. 2020 tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is going to be another hot day out there, although we are past the peak of the heat wave. This is just one final day of it. It's still going to be hot, or at least very warm for tomorrow, but this is going to be the last day of the hottest stuff. So we'll be up around 90 degrees in Yakima by lunchtime, and then into the mid to upper 90s for the hottest part of the day. So I'm still going with 100 for the Tri-Cities, 101 for the Hanford site, 98 for Yakima, mid to upper 90s for the foothills, and the mid 90s in the Kittitas Valley. After this, we're going to drop back down into the 80s in the Yakima Valley. That'll be a nice change of pace, at least through Tuesday, then back up into the 90s by next Wednesday and Thursday. Here's how to prep for extreme heat, even though, again, we're kind of past the peak of this event at this point. But plan cooling options, check cooling systems. Still don't want your AC to break at this juncture. Stock hydration supplies, and you still got to know those heat risks, the difference between heat exhaustion and heat illness. Knowing the differences, knowing the different call to actions could save your life. We have that information posted online at AppleValleyNewsNow.com. We'll talk more at length about that coming up in the next half hour. But that's just one risk for today. The other two risks would be, well, smoke, bad air quality, and then we could see additional fires starting and spreading quickly. So we'll talk about both those aspects of the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Getting into your national news here, just hours after the House voted to limit President Trump's war powers in Iran on Thursday, the Senate rejected a similar measure of its own. In a 47 for and 49 against vote, the upper chamber's first direct vote on the issue since the end of the ceasefire failed. This was the 12th Senate vote on Iran war powers. In June, the Senate adopted a resolution aimed at removing military forces from Iran, but failed to advance a similar war powers measure the following day. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Your time right now is 5:16, and when we come back, everything you need to know with the elevated fire concerns heading into this weekend with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth once again when we return.
Save through July 27th with Bi-Mart's latest savings book. Pick one up in store today. Shasta and LaCroix 12-packs are buy two, get one free, making them just $3.99 each when you buy three. Save on all Ball 12-count pint and quart-size canning jars. Levi Strauss Signature Men's Carpenter Pants are $16.99. And find Chevron 1-gallon 15W40 Dello diesel oil for $13.99. 3 weeks of store-wide savings continue through Monday the 27th, only at Bi-Mart.
When your home works the way it should, life's best moments come easier. Mornings getting the kids ready, comfortable evenings with loved ones, weekends spent in your community. At Campbell & Company, we'll take care of all your home's heating, air conditioning, plumbing, drains, and electrical, solving problems and doing the job right the first time. So your home is one less thing to worry about. More comfort, more reliability, more moments that matter.
Campbell & Company. At Ace, however you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
The thrill of Black Friday, the best of summer. Save on this summer's must-have styles, the hottest shoes, beauty, and so much more. But these deals won't last long. Macy's Black Friday in July and Sunday.
We are the Dillos. We are from Northern Kentucky. Being out in a rural area, coverage is pretty hit and miss with other carriers. So switching to T-Mobile solved a lot of problems that we had.
I'm able to use T-Satellite now. We've got coverage no matter where we're at.
America's best network meets off-the-grid satellite coverage with T-Satellite. And right now, keep the phone you love, and we'll pay it off up to $800 when you switch.
Better service, better price, win-win.
At Ace, however you grill, we've got the perfect one for you. Because only your local Ace has all the best brands in one place, like Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, and Blackstone. That sounds pretty perfect.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When Saturday rolls around, I don't want to jump through hoops to watch college football. Good Dane DirecTV makes it easy to keep up with my favorite college teams.
No hopping between apps or channels.
Stream college football without the hurdles on DirecTV.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Still dealing with smoke over these next couple days, which is just one of the reasons why we're going with an alert day. So we'll put this into motion with FutureCast surface smoke, and we're still thinking that the worst air quality will continue to be in Benton County, Franklin County, but especially for Walla Walla, Umatilla, a little bit less so for Morrow County. So that's what we're looking at for today. Now into tomorrow, I think this particular model run is a little deceiving. Yeah, at the surface layer, we're not going to see as much smoke, but there will be some very thick upper level smoke from some of those fires that are burning in southern and central Oregon. So it still could look quite hazy tomorrow, especially I'd say on a line from like the Hanford site to the east of there. That's about where we would see some of the milkiest skies as we head into tomorrow, even though the surface smoke will be a little bit lighter. Here's what to do during bouts of poor air quality. Stay indoors, wear protective masks, use clean air, watch for symptoms of smoke inhalation. You can find this list posted online at applevalleynewsnow.com. Okay, to add insult to injury, we could see additional fires sparking up over the next few days as it will be gusty, extremely dry vegetation out there. Still our vegetation dryness being maxed out. Our scale being maxed out. Now, thankfully, the chances for holdover fires going way down because we just did not see the lightning yesterday we were banking on, which is a very good thing. But human-caused fires, we saw one last night, and I have a gut feeling that we could see some more over the next few days. So it's going to be gusty again for today, especially windy for tomorrow. I'm very concerned about tomorrow. Gusts across the map between 25 to 40 miles per hour. Then as we head into Sunday, it's going to be another gusty day out there. A little bit of a reprieve for Monday. Of course, you can see hour-by-hour wind gusts for your exact location by downloading our weather app for free in the App Store or on Google Play. And I say a reprieve because, well, it looks like we could have a similar setup for next Tuesday. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. One more day of triple-digit heat, and then dangerous fire weather lasting through Sunday. For Yakima, a good deal cooler by tomorrow, but a stretch of gusty weather through Tuesday. In Ellensburg, winds continuing to do their thing with the windiest day being tomorrow. And for Hermiston, hazy to smoky over the next 48 hours at least. Thankfully cooler for the weekend. Finally for Walla Walla, one more day of oppressive heat, but smoke and fire concerns staying put.
Well, Josh, we made it to Friday, the end of this very long alert week, and it looks like we're finally having a cool down next week.
Yeah. A cool down. So one of the reasons for the alert week, we can kind of like put that to bed for now, but still got to contend with the smoke and fire stuff.
We have all these other ones we got to balance. All right, we'll still ahead here when we come back. 3 major entertainment movies happening right now, and one involves the end of an era. So stay with us. We'll be right back with your entertainment news.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
This Nissan lineup goes where you take it. Trucks and SUVs built with grit, guts, and traction to back it up. That's the power of a Nissan. Now's the time to drive. Nissan, Consumer Guide's most awarded brand 5 years in a row. Get 0% APR for 60 months or get up to $5,750 total savings on select Frontier trims.
Amanda McKinney is the conservative fighter Central Washington needs. She led the fight to protect Central Washington's water supply, standing up to the bureaucrats threatening farmers and businesses. And when it comes to protecting taxpayers, Amanda McKinney is as tough as they come. She uncovered millions in government fraud, and in Congress, she'll do the same. August 4th, vote Trump-endorsed Amanda McKinney. American Mission is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Our Valley's pride is everywhere you look.
When people give through the Yakima Valley Community Foundation, they are investing in our future leadership and our continued prosperity.
Support from the foundation helps local organizations serve our neighbors and strengthen the place we call home. It helps us hold on to what makes this valley special. When people invest locally, organizations like ours can keep showing up for our neighbors.
The Yakima Valley Community Foundation supports organizations that honor our cultures, care for our neighbors, and strengthen the places we call home. From main streets to gathering places, pride runs through this valley. When generosity stays local, communities grow stronger. That's what helps our valley thrive.
Together, we can strengthen the Yakima Valley by taking local generosity and turning it into lasting impact.
Today, tomorrow, together.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
Welcome back for your entertainment news this morning. An award-winning streaming series is coming to an end.
Yeah, David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
It sounds like the drama at the network is juicier than the drama on the network.
Fans of The Morning Show will get one more round of juicy drama. Apple TV has announced the 5th and final season of the show, starring Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, will debut in 2027.
Eurydice was a hungry young girl.
Your ticket.
And Hades gave her a choice to make.
Hadestown has gone from Tony-winning stage smash to a movie version in theaters for 5 nights only. But Broadway's original Hades, Patrick Page, says he has another medium in mind for the story.
I always thought from the beginning that it cried out for some kind of animated treatment. And I still do. I still think it would be an extraordinary piece for an animator.
There's definitely some things in the movie that were true, but then we take it in a whole different direction.
Weird Al Yankovic's career has gone a lot of directions, but one way the Grammy-winning parody master decided not to go was Saudi Arabia. Yankovic tells Pittsburgh's Trib Live he was offered 7 figures for a show at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, but, quote, I don't need to take any amount of money if it makes me feel icky, and that kind of did. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Going back into Hadestown, I kind of love it when Broadway musicals take the movie adaptation route. What do you think?
What? So is there like another example of that you're thinking
Hamilton.
of? Hamilton.
Have you watched Hamilton?
Yeah.
No, of course he hasn't. I don't know why I asked that. I knew the answer to that.
But I've listened to like a little bit of the soundtrack, kind of through other people in my life.
It was the soundtrack that got me to watch it originally.
I will watch it though, eventually.
Okay, there we go. All right, we'll still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. When we return, a routine traffic stop turned dangerous on State Route 240. Washington State Patrol is sending a critical message to drivers. Plus, original paintings, ceramics, and handcrafted pieces you won't find anywhere else. The event attracting visitors from across Washington and beyond to discover what's waiting. But first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Instagram is now banning users who make, quote, creepy content using Meta glasses. That includes people harassing strangers in public with pranks, pickup lines, or simply recording people without their consent. Meta Platforms is the parent company of Instagram. A new handheld device measures when your body is burning fat. The breathalyzer device measures the amount of acetone in your breath, which is a byproduct of fat that's being turned into fuel. And lastly, fresh off its blockbuster Mario movies, Universal is doubling down on video games, this time raiding the arcade. The studio landed the rights to 10 classic Atari titles, including Asteroids, Breakout, Centipede, Missile Command, and yes, Pong. That's a look at your Tech Bites. I'm Hannah Vata. Have a great day.
You certain this is decaf? Mm-hmm. Are you 4imprint certain? Mm-hmm. I am like lightning today.
Certainty matters. So when you need the right high-quality promotional products, printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time, that's the certainty of 4imprint. Wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team by visiting 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. Oh, what is that musty smell?
Oh, damp.
Damp. Oh, damp.
Hey, language.
Damprid traps excess moisture to eliminate musty smells. Get rid of the damp with Damprid.
Did you take your vitamin today?
That's my job.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good Friday morning, and we're happy you're here with us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Zoe Solis, and we're finally in the last stretch of this alert week. Josh, what do we need to know today?
Yeah, we're about able to knock this one off, so then we'll just have 2 alert days, but still continuing with the heat for one more day, bad air quality for the foreseeable future, and dangerous fire weather through Sunday at least, although it looks like next Tuesday could be a little bit dicey as well. Air quality is technically good right now for the lower Columbia Basin, at least for the Tri-Cities, and then up into the Yakima and the Kittitas valleys, but still some very lousy air quality this morning for especially Umatilla and Walla Walla counties. It's just straight up unhealthy right now for Walla Walla. And in terms of the wind gust, it is windy right now in Ellensburg. Elsewhere, some light breezes. These are going to pick back up a little bit later in the day. Temperatures, it's still kind of balmy for this time of the year and this time of the morning. 72 in the Tri-Cities, but a little bit cooler, 58 in Yakima. Speaking of Yakima, we're going to end up back in the mid to upper 90s a little bit later in the day. So I'm thinking a lot of lower elevation locations other than Ellensburg going to have a good chance to hit 100 degrees again if the smoke doesn't have something to say about it. Speaking of smoke, fires, got a lot of them on the map, including the dramatic one from last night south of Kennewick. Earlier this morning, I said this is a Kennewick address. I'm mistaken. This is technically outside of Kennewick city limits. This is the Locust Grove fire. Started in the area east of Locust Grove Road and east Washington State Route 397. Again, south of Kennewick, 750 acres, and per the Benton County Fire District #1, this fire is now under control. But there's still some evacuations in place. Level 1 be ready evacuations, and then this evacuation zone is a level 2B set evacuation for Inspiration Heights. So you're allowed to return back to this neighborhood if you left last night, but just know you need to be packed, you need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice in case this situation starts to flare up again. That's one fire. Now I'll take you over to another one that's very dramatic. Unfortunately, we had some structures lost yesterday with this one. This is the railroad fire in southwestern Grant County. It burned right through Beverly and Schwana. Still some active hotspots for both of those communities, and it is 1,400 acres. 0% containment on this one, and we have still level 3 go now evacuations in place for Beverly and Schwana, and then the level 1 be ready evacuation extending all the way down to Mattawa. The official text from the Grant County Sheriff's Office is that level 3 go now evacuation still in place for all of Beverly and Schwana and the lower Crab Creek area about 5 miles from Washington 243, and then the level 1 be ready precautionary evacuation for Washington 243 from Morrison Street to Road 24 southwest. Okay, now I'll take you all the way over to Umatilla County, where we have 3 large fires burning. No evacuations with the Paradise or the Horse Ridge fire, so we're going to hand wave those for now. Put all of our energy into the Hagen fire, which we saw a big acreage update on this one yesterday. It's now getting closer to 13,000 acres, so this thing blew up by about 5,000 acres yesterday, and you see just active hotspots all over this fire's perimeter. If there's one part of the perimeter that's a little bit less active, it would be the northwestern flank, but even that you still see a few up that way. So we have expansive evacuations that are now spilling over into Union County. The level 3 go now area still for Bingham Springs and Gibbon, but the level 2 be set now for Tollgate and Oregon Highway 204. So that's where you got to be packed, got to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. To sign up for emergency alerts in Oregon, oralert.gov. Sign up for emergency alerts in Washington, mil.wa.gov/alerts, pound local, and we'll have a lot more to say about these fires coming up a little bit later in the half hour.
All right, thank you, Josh. Moving over into Kennewick here, State Patrol is reminding drivers to pay attention after a driver crashed into a police vehicle that was stopped while it was investigating another crash. This was on Wednesday at about 11:30 a.m. where troopers responded to a reported crash on State Route 240 in Kennewick. WSP says as they investigated the crash, another driver approaching the scene crashed into 2 vehicles, including a patrol car. The vehicles involved suffered significant damage, but only minor injuries were reported. State Patrol says the crash could have been much worse and is telling the public to slow down and move over if they see emergency lights. No word yet on what charges the driver who hit the police vehicle will face. And getting into Pasco here, as the city has approved a new research partnership with WSU on police-worn body cameras.
There are some concerns from some residents about confidentiality. So has there been any issues with body-worn camera footage and privacy with different folks?
The agreement clearly covers that, and we haven't had any problems at all with the students or the professors at WSU.
This week, council unanimously approved the agreement. This will allow Washington State University researchers to study privacy-protected body-worn camera footage from the Pasco Police Department. The city says this partnership will help advance law enforcement research using real-world information and support improvements in policing and public safety. Going into Franklin County, as the city of Connell says a planned rail interchange project could help improve safety in the community. This project would move train car switching operations from Main Street to a new track south of the city near the former Lamb Weston site. Mayor Shelley Harper says rail cars are currently switched in Connell before continuing to Warden, Othello, and Moses Lake. She says moving those operations out of downtown would help address safety concerns at the rail crossings.
It's become a real safety issue with our school kids because the school kids have to cross those tracks going to and from the school every day, and it's caused a lot of issues.
Harper says she's looking forward to the project as the city continues to plan for its future and looks to attract industry to the area. Into Yakima City and County, as leaders are continuing to discuss how to address homelessness across the community. Yakima County Commissioner Kyle Curtis met with council members to discuss the county's 5-year homeless housing plan and funding for homeless services. Several council members raised concerns about reduced funding for Camp Hope, saying they worry the shelter could see a reduction in capacity without a clear transition plan. Curtis said the county's plan calls for expanding shelter options across Yakima County while also investing in long-term solutions.
Second thing it calls out for is to move into long-term care solutions. And so I know that there was some comments made earlier today about the investment that the county's making in a capital cost to hopefully bring on long-term care at the start of the beginning of the new year.
City and county leaders say they will continue working together to address homelessness and find long-term solutions. And with triple-digit temperatures, you may need a place to go cool off, and starting next weekend, Yakima is opening up Franklin Pool on Saturdays. Earlier this summer, the pool was closed for repairs, but now the city of Yakima is ready to open it up for weekend fun. The pool schedule is set to change the first weekend in August and will be open for the next 4 Saturdays. But that's not all, as concerts and other fun events are also scheduled in August, including music ranging from classic rock to pop. The cost of entry at Franklin Pool for kids is $4 and $5 for adults. For a family of 6, it's $23, and for a family of 8, it's $30. Into more community-related events. This weekend, more than 300 vendors have set up at Howard Amon Park for the annual Art in the Park Festival happening today and Saturday. This 2-day event features original artwork, including paintings, ceramics, and handcrafted pieces, plus live music and food vendors. They say the festival draws visitors from across Washington and beyond, making it a chance to connect with the community and showcase their work.
This is, I think, our 3rd or 4th year now. I think it's just fun being outside. It's always a great event. There's always such fun people. There's people all over the state, some other states too. So it's just kind of like a really nice, you're going to meet so many people, a lot of great people here, and it's been a fun event for us every year.
The festival runs from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. both days, and as always, admission is free. Lots of fun events coming up this weekend, and coming up here when we come back, something never before attempted by the Red Bull Air Force is also happening this weekend, the event that is daring stunt over the Columbia River when we return. Taking a live look out into Kennewick this morning, a beautiful sunrise. Take a look at that there. Skies are clearing up, but we are still in alert days, so everything you need to know and look out for, and stay safe when we return.
If I were to describe this case in 3 words, I would call it brutal, intimate, and cruel.
Go inside a murder mystery where nothing is as it seems.
Hands up! Hands up!
2020, tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Dear First Place, experts agree Toyota value can't be beat. Drivers agree Toyota quality rides long and strong. Add hybrid choices like no other, and you'll win the long game by a country mile. Toyota. Right now, you can lease a new 2026 Camry for $329 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Bottom of the 9th. This is the dream.
What a shot!
Protect your family's dreams under our roof. Bundle life and save on home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Is my used car cursed? Why is this load taking 2 hours?
Third rinse cycle commencing.
How do they know this car seat is safe?
I don't know. They've got people who do that.
But who's they?
You shouldn't have to question everything. For 90 years, Consumer Reports has been testing, reviewing, and advocating for you for answers you don't have to question. Consumer Reports. We never stop questioning.
During the back-to-school sale at Furniture Row, every sofa, dining group, and bed is on sale. So outfitting your off-campus studio or secluded study nook is elementary. Find sofas with contemporary elegance and lasting value, to clean lines and Italian leather. Shop dining with modern style and space-saving design, to classic charm with contemporary silhouettes. Affordable beds and versatile rustic comfort, to space-saving bunk beds and duff gray finish. Score the Colorado Twin for only $149.99 or Summit Twin for only $199.99. The back-to-school sale on now at Furniture Row.
Bottom of the 9th. This is the dream.
What a shot!
Protect your family's dreams under our roof. Bundle life and save on home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Ready, set, summer. With the Honda Summer Event. With available features like all-terrain tires, off-road tuned suspension, and Trail Watch. Honda has all you need to get summer ready as the most fuel-efficient full-line automaker in America. Right now, you can get at 1.99% APR on a 2026 Ridgeline.
If I were to describe this case in 3 words, I would call it brutal, intimate, and cruel.
Go inside a murder mystery where nothing is as it seems.
Hands up! Hands up!
2020, tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We have one more day of an alert day, at least when it comes to the heat. One more day of this heat wave. We're going to be up around 100 degrees for today. So temperatures pretty close to 90 by lunchtime in the Tri-Cities, then up around 100 degrees for the warmest part of the day, the hottest part of the day. So I'm going with 99 for Walla Walla, 100 for the Tri-Cities, 98 for Yakima, 96 for Lexington, 93 for Ellensburg. We'll have 70s and 80s up in the mountains, but much more normal high temperatures for Saturday through next Thursday at least, as we'll be in the low to mid 90s. So it's still going to be toasty out there, but thankfully we're not going to be as close to the century mark. Still is very important, even on days where it's not an alert day because of the heat, even on days where, you know, we're up into the 90s, it's very important to know the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Could save your life. A lot of different points here, but the main ones I've been highlighting all week be the sweating, exhaustion, excessive sweating, heat stroke, no sweating. And then the way your skin feels. So with heat exhaustion, cool, pale, clammy skin, heat stroke, red hot, and dry skin. The call to action, very different for both. Heat exhaustion, get to a cooler place with AC, drink water, fully conscious, you know, just get into a cool environment. With a heat stroke, have to call 911 ASAP, and it is too late to drink any water. You have to be like pumped with IV fluids at that point. But that's just one risk. We have the risk of reductions in air quality, and also more fires could pop up across the map. We'll talk about both those things coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Josh. Getting into Pasco here, as the Water Follies Air Show held their media day at Bergstrom Aircraft on Thursday, showing off planes that will fly this weekend. Preparing for the full weekend of flying at the Water Follies, pilots displayed their aircrafts and spoke to the media. Both returning and brand new acts will be featured in this year's show. The Red Bull Air Force will be attempting a first ever track where they take a jet ski rider up into the sky via a bungee cord. The air show takes place over the Columbia River today, Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. When we return, we've got everything you should know in your morning sprint, as well as your full weather forecast when we return back with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth after this.
Where you been, Hank?
Little field research. Check this out.
Looks like America is loving Ford quality.
Yeah, and J.D. Power backs it up.
Great deals.
Crazy good capability.
America, this is what summer's all about.
Slow or clogged drains? Don't wait until it gets worse. Campbell & Company clears stubborn clogs fast. It's our $93 or free guarantee. We'll clear any drain for just $93 or it's free. Trust us to do it right. Visit trustcampbell.com.
For 50 years, Shelby's Floral has been your homegrown neighbor, bringing joy and beauty to every occasion. We're more than just a flower shop and specialize in beautiful custom arrangements, live plants, silk florals, and home decor. Our experienced designers are here to help you with all your floral needs, ensuring that every bouquet is as special as the moment it celebrates. Visit us today on Clearwater in Kennewick. We're part of your community and can't wait to help you celebrate life's moments. Shelby's Floral.
Jardiance plays a role in my story, too. I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well with Jardiance, a once-daily pill that helps lower my A1C. It works 24/7 in the body to flush out some sugar.
And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death, too.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Jardiance is a little pill with a big story to tell. And if you ask me, it's pretty swell.
Action!
Here comes the judge.
Court come to order. All rise.
Judy rules the courtroom.
Hey, I would keep my mouth shut.
It's your daily moment of truth.
What an idiot.
Judy Justice.
In front of millions of people.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
Where you been, Hank?
Little field research. Check this out.
Looks like America is loving Ford quality.
Yeah, and J.D. Power backs it up.
Great deals.
Crazy good capability.
America, this is what summer's all about.
First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee, Apple Valley News Now. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is an alert day in place because of the heat, which we just talked about a couple minutes back, and because of the smoke and the fire. So let's talk about the smoke. You know, the last half hour I was showing you the forecast to surface level smoke, but I think this story is actually much better told with the upper level smoke. So we got this big plume in Walla Walla, Umatilla, Morrow counties. That's, you know, in part why we're seeing some of the worst air quality there for now. Watch what happens to this plume a little bit later in the day. It surges back up into the Tri-Cities and could get into the Yakima Valley as well, but the thickest stuff looks like it could end up right over the Tri-Cities and Hermiston. So what does that do to our air quality? I think it could at least drop down into values that are unhealthy for sensitive groups, if not a little bit worse than that. So that's today. Into tomorrow, looks like we'll get some pretty good clearing for the Kittitas and the Yakima Valleys, but once again, that big plume right over the Tri-Cities and Hermiston. That's from all the fires that are burning down in southern and central Oregon. So if you go online to applevalleyNewsNow.com, you can see what to do during bouts of poor air quality. I'm going to talk about that again coming up in the next half hour. But that map could change based upon whether or not we see more fires popping up over the next few days, which is another reason why we have alert days in place as the vegetation Our vegetation dryness scale continues to be maxed out. Level 5 out of 5s all over the map here. And it's going to be gusty for today. It's going to be especially gusty for tomorrow. We're talking gust across the map between 20 to 40 miles per hour. And then it's going to be gusty for Sunday as well. A little reprieve for Monday. And then it looks like we could get back into it for next Tuesday. Here's how to prevent wildfires. All you got to do is don't burn yard waste or toss cigarettes, drag trailer chains, park on dry grass. Shooting off fireworks is a big no-no at this point. And like I said, could have more of the same conditions as we head into next Tuesday. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. One more day of triple-digit heat for today. Dangerous fire weather lasting through Sunday. For Yakima, a good deal cooler by tomorrow, but a stretch of gusty weather through Tuesday. For Ellensburg, winds continuing to do their thing, with the windiest day being tomorrow. And then for Hermiston, hazy to smoky over the next 48 hours, at least. Thankfully cooler for the weekend as highs drop back down to around 90. And then for Walla Walla, one more day of oppressive heat, but smoke and fire concerns staying put.
Now, the morning sprint.
Officials are now saying 7 residences have been damaged due to the railroad fire in Grant County. This fire broke out Wednesday at 11 p.m. in the 1700 block of Road T8 Southwest in Beverly. State fire mobilization was approved Wednesday, and aerial support was requested by Thursday morning. Officials say structures near hotspots will be the focus, along with the safety of residences and crews. An evacuation shelter continues to be available at Wahluke High School in Mattawa. Also, the search continues for a missing fisherman from Pasco who was wading in the water. 29-year-old Omar Espinoza Acosta was on a fishing trip with 2 friends Wednesday afternoon when a current took him under. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office was called out to the area on Ringgold River Road, southeast of Savage Island. The family says they need more help because the water is moving very fast, and the man is Hispanic and 5'2" with red hair. Now to an update on a hot topic in the city of Richland as the council brought data centers up for discussion. The city manager, John Amundsen, says this council has authorized an option agreement for approximately 273 acres in the Northwest Advanced Clean Energy Park, which means that this allows Atlas Argo to a limited period to evaluate the property and decide whether to pursue a purchase. Because an option agreement is in effect, imposing a moratorium is not possible, but that does not mean that the city intends to proceed without safeguards. State Patrol is reminding drivers to pay attention after a driver crashed into a police vehicle that was stopped while it was investigating another crash. Wednesday at about 11:30 a.m., troopers responded to a reported crash on State Route 240 in Kennewick. WSP says as they investigated the crash, another driver approaching the scene crashed into 2 vehicles, including one of the patrol cars. State Patrol is telling the public to slow down and move over if they see emergency lights on the road. Yakima City and county leaders are continuing to discuss how to address homelessness across the community. Several council members raised concerns about reduced funding for Camp Hope, saying they worry the shelter could see a reduction in capacity without a clear transition plan. Commissioner Kyle Curtis aided the county's plan calls for expanding shelter options across Yakima County, while also investing in long-term solutions. National news this morning as 25 states, including Washington and D.C., have sued the Trump administration, accusing FEMA and DHS of withholding disaster relief and counterterrorism funding unless they adopt election changes. The lawsuit alleges that the administration is using federal money as leverage to force states to comply with its election agenda. States that don't fully adopt the changes stand to lose 20% of the funding that helps them prepare for terror attacks, cybersecurity threats, and major disasters. New information is out about what's believed to be the first ransom note in the abduction of Nancy Guthrie. Crime journalist Brianna Whitney read the letter on the Crime Junkie podcast. It warned Today Show host Savannah Guthrie that her mother's life was in her hands. The note demanded millions in Bitcoin within a 7-day deadline and warned the family not to play games. It also cited specific details about Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home. Into business news, President Trump is moving forward with a new round of tariffs on foreign goods. Starting today, the Trump administration will implement a 10 to 12.5% tariff on items shipped to the United States from dozens of countries. The measure will take effect as a previous 10% near blanket tariff is set to expire. Senior White House officials say the president remains committed to his trade agenda even after the Supreme Court had rejected his tariffs earlier this year. And for the first time, the European Union is fining Google under its landmark Digital Markets Act. The EU is demanding about $1 billion for 2 alleged misdemeanors. The European Commission accuses Google of using its search engine to promote its own services over those of competitors. It also alleges that it kept some app developers from making cheaper offers to customers in the Google Play App Store. Google has 60 days to implement changes that address the Commission's concerns. Into sports news this morning, the LA Dodgers 2025 World Series champions visited the White House on Thursday. They presented President Trump with a replica World Series championship ring along with a jersey that has his name and the number 47 on the back. This is the team's second visit in as many years. The Dodgers are busy this week squeezing this visit in between games against the Phillies and the Mets. At 103 years old, Bob Walls is still swinging it at Steve Hogan Golf Course in Omaha. This legendary golfer and groundskeeper beats players half his age and spends his days maintaining the course that changed his life. Walls credits his late friend Steve Hogan for teaching him the game. Now his annual Bob Walls Invitational Tournament returns this Saturday. It's a legacy that honors his mentor and gives back to the community. And into what's trending this morning, a California rental listing is turning heads online.
Yeah, not because of the home itself, but because of one unexpected line.
A newly built furnished one-bedroom accessory dwelling unit is listed for $3,250 a month with utilities and Wi-Fi included. But the listing also states, if working from home, additional $200 a month.
Get out of town. Come on. The optional fee quickly caught the attention of renters, many of whom said they had never heard of anything like it. The additional charge appears to be aimed at tenants who regularly work from home. And just if that property manager happens to be out there, if you're listening, I hope you have a bad weekend.
Yeah, because why? Why would that be? Why would they even need to know if someone was working from?
That's really lame.
Lame. Yeah. Okay, well, anyways, coming up here on Good Morning Northwest at 6, Yakima City and county leaders are making moves to address homelessness, the concerns council members are raising. Plus, Connell leaders are making a strategic move that could solve an ongoing problem, the rail interchange project aimed at improving safety. And we're looking into more fire dangers this Friday. Josh, what are we expecting?
Yeah, it's going to be another hot day today, another smoky day, and like you were talking about, could see more fires popping up across the map. We'll have an update on the fire that started last night south of Kennewick. That's going to be coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.